Good evening. My name is Georgina Brackett, and I am president of the Western Kentucky University Alumni Association Board of Directors. The WKU Alumni Association is powered by our members who make days like today possible. Thank you for investing in WKU. Each year, 34 alumni are selected to serve as the guardians of the investments made by our alumni, members, and of our mission as an alumni association to inspire alumni to connect, engage, and pay it forward to the WKU community. We accomplish our mission by connecting alumni to their alma mater, engaging them as ambassadors, inspiring them to invest in the future of WKU, and by celebrating our alumni and their achievements. Before dinner this evening, we recognize 5 amazing Hilltoppers for their excellence demonstrated through their achievement, service, and dedication, and paying it forward. Now we will celebrate our 4 newest members of the Hall of Distinguished Alumni, the highest honor of Western Kentucky University and the Alumni Association bestows upon any Hilltopper. This evening, our inductees will join the ranks of only 116 other members of the Hall of Distinguished Alumni who have been recognized for their excellence of leadership, loyal support, service, and dedication to both WKU and their respective disciplines. To officially induct these distinguished alumni into the Western Kentucky University Hall of Distinguished Alumni, please welcome to the stage our 10th president, Dr. Timothy C. Caboni.
Well, thank you, Georgina. And on behalf of all of us at WKU, I want to congratulate Dr. Coomer, Dr. Lee, Paul, Romanza, and Dick. Your designations are well-deserved and represent only a small token of our appreciation for your extraordinary achievements and contributions to your communities, your fields, and to our beloved institution. Fellow alumni and friends, for more than 30 years, the Hall of Distinguished Alumni Induction Ceremony has been a highlight of WKU's homecoming weekend. This year marks a transition to a new premier event that, beginning tonight, serves as the centerpiece to our university's homecoming festivities going forward. The awards we present this evening are not just for those who've reached the pinnacle of their careers, though this is important to celebrate. This reimagined Hilltopper Excellence Award ceremony allows us to recognize alumni and friends who've excelled in their fields on regional, national, and even international levels, while also providing the opportunity to honor those who've dedicated their lives to giving back and to celebrate current successes worthy of our university's recognition. Nothing elevates our institution and enhances the value of a WKU degree more than the work, than the achievements, than the successes of our alumni, because no one demonstrates better the lifetime benefit of the journey on our hill than those who came before. So please know that we value you. We applaud the opportunities that you create for our students, and we appreciate your investment in our university, your alma mater. And through this celebration, may we not only recognize the personal and professional accomplishments and contributions of our alumni, but at the same time, we inspire others to climb even higher. WKU's 118 Hall of Distinguished Alumni members illustrate clearly the success we achieve and celebrate as an institution. And now, as we induct members of the 32nd class, it's my privilege to join you in honoring 4 individuals whose contributions stand out, who epitomize the WKU spirit, who climb to the greatest of heights in their careers, and who possess the highest standards of integrity and character that positively reflect and enhance the prestige of our beloved university. But before we begin the installation of our 2023 inductees to the WKU Alumni Association Board of Directors, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your leadership, thank you for your willingness to serve, and thank you for your good work during the selection process. This year's Hall of Distinguished Alumni inductees include the late Admiral Claude Charles Bloch, a former Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Naval Fleet, the late Charles H. Reynolds, a distinguished veteran and former Kentucky Supreme Court Justice, Renee Shaw, an award-winning journalist and public affairs executive, and Dr. Amir Zaheri, a celebrated composer, conductor, performer, and educator. We begin with Admiral Claude Charles Bloch. It's truly fitting that we honor this individual on the weekend of Veterans Day. Most impressively, Admiral Bloch was Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Naval Fleet during the Second World War. In addition to his career accolades, which were numerous, he was a high-ranking officer of the Jewish faith and a trailblazer for inclusion. During his 50-year military career, he was part of history, not only through service in World War II, but in the Spanish-American War and World War I as well. He worked quietly behind the scenes. He recognized threats that many of his time did not, and he made contributions that were critical to Allied victory. So now, if you will, please turn your attention to the video screens to meet the 2023 Hall of Distinguished Alumni inductee, the late Admiral Claude Charles Bloch.
Admiral Bloch played a crucial role in the history of the United States Navy in the early 20th century. For one thing, he was decorated for service in the Spanish-American War, in World War I, and in World War II.
He was unique personally that he was a high-ranking officer of the Jewish faith, which still at that point in the post-Civil War era, you didn't have that many, and especially not a Southerner. So I think there always was this understanding of maybe not how important he was in that respect or how special he was, but how unique he was in an era where certainly Jewish soldiers and sailors were going to be very commonplace, but not necessarily a high-ranking officer such as he.
As commander of the USS Plattsburgh, which shuttled the United States Army basically from the United States to combat in France. Over the course of the summer and fall of 1918, the Plattsburgh made 4 crossings of the Atlantic, transporting 9,000 American soldiers into combat in the First World War. The fact that the Navy transported 2 million soldiers to France without the loss of a single life, without a single ship sunk, was a major achievement. It was crucial to Allied victory in World War I, and Admiral Bloch played a significant role in that.
And this is his first really major award as commander of this vessel, and he receives the Navy Cross as a result. He is kind of an unsung hero. He is someone, I think, doing a lot of the quiet work behind the scenes to understand and modernize our Navy. I think he understood maybe better than some the threat that the expansion of Japan posed. He and Kimmel actually suggest there were Japanese subs out there and that they were perhaps preparing for an assault on Pearl. He read the threat and he saw maybe more than most. And so in that respect, in United States history, certainly United States military history, he deserves maybe more than just the footnote.
I'm Claudia. I'm my granddad's oldest grandchild.
I'm Thad. I'm his only grandson. He was a very stern disciplinarian. He was born of the Victorian age. He and his wife both held Victorian principles up to the day that they died.
He had a wonderful sense of humor. He was in his own way, a very warm person, actually, if you could get down through the layers.
I think he really enjoyed owning a home and taking care of his garden, taking care of the house. He was a great man, and I think he's deserving of this honor, certainly.
We're proud of his history. We really are.
Again, the fact that here's a kid from Woodbury, Kentucky, who's Jewish, gets into Ogden, which was a private school, gets a congressional appointment to Annapolis, has a career that spans the 1890s to his retirement in 1946. That's something to celebrate. There are individuals who live up to Dr. Cherry's adage of the spirit makes the master, and Admiral Bloch is absolutely one.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Ray Buckberry, and I'm here to accept this distinguished honor on behalf of Admiral Bloch and his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I had Thad and Claudia that you saw in the video were hopeful they could make the journey to be here and accept the honor on behalf of their late grandfather, Admiral Claude Charles Bloch. However, they were unable to be here with us tonight, and they sent their regards and asked me to share them with you. The regards from the grandchildren. It is a great honor that you will be recognizing and celebrating the incredible life of Claude C. Bloch in November. Our family is extremely proud of his legacy and feel this accolade is an incredible privilege. It is our deep regret, however, that we were not able to attend this honorable event. Thank you so much for honoring our grandfather and for the kind invitation to our family. We wish you a joyous homecoming weekend. Those are the regards from the grandchildren. Bob Kirby and I nominated Admiral Bloch for this honor after learning of his roots in Butler County and his attendance at Ogden College. Dr. Lee and Professor Serafini did an eloquent job of summarizing Admiral Bloch's career and distinguished accomplishments in the video we just saw. So I will not try to expand upon that. Instead, I will say that tonight, I hope we all feel proud to consider Admiral Bloch as one of our distinguished alumni who served our country and received the highest rank normally achievable in the U.S. Navy as a 4-star admiral, a rank only held by 275 Americans in our country's history. This homecoming, celebrated in conjunction with Veterans Day, I hope you celebrate the service of our brave men and women who serve and have served our country with honor, like Admiral Bloch. Thank you.
Our second honoree this evening is Justice Charles H. Reynolds. We're proud to recognize another decorated World War II veteran this evening. In addition to serving his country, he served the Commonwealth as an attorney, as one of the first members of the Kentucky Court of Appeals, and as an elected justice of the Kentucky Supreme Court. The opinion Justice Reynolds authored on the complicated subject of summary judgment stands as a benchmark to this day. With a brilliant legal mind and forward-thinking economic viewpoint, he made important contributions to the Commonwealth and to the Bowling Green community. A father of 11, he was a man of integrity who took a personal interest in the lives of those around him through quiet and consistent encouragement. I invite you to turn your attention to the video screen and meet 2023 Hall of Distinguished Alumni inductee, the late Justice Charles H. Reynolds.
My name is Amy Milliken. I'm the Warren County Attorney, and I credit Charles Reynolds with my legal career. He was multi-talented. He was so smart. He was president of Bowling Green Bank and Trust, sat on many bank boards. He was involved in the City County Planning Commission when we were just getting it started. I remember, and I know people who say during his tenure at Bowling Green Bank and Trust, I was a complete nobody. But he took a chance on me and gave me a loan, and that's why I'm successful in my business today. He was one of the first appointed to the Kentucky Court of Appeals when it was just being started. Governor Julian Carroll thought he was the man for the job, and no doubt he was. And then he ran for Supreme Court of Kentucky. He wrote, and it's very famous, it's a famous opinion, and it's called Steel Vest. And it really sets the bar for what's called summary judgment in Kentucky. Not only Kentucky, but really around the United States. He had a brilliant legal mind. But again, you would never know it because he was just so humble.
His overall demeanor was, I think, impressive to just about anybody that dealt with him. That carried through, and you can see that in the comments from the fellow justices on the Kentucky Supreme Court and on the Court of Appeals, which he was on for a number of years as well.
Justice Reynolds was a very interesting person. First of all, he was the father of 11 children, and he did that with his lovely wife, Miss Patty is what we called her, and we adored her. Justice Reynolds loved working for the Supreme Court, and the staff of the Supreme Court just adored him because he made a point every time we went to go and talk to each one of them, find out how their families were. He cared a lot. He was a very, very good justice, a very low-key person.
I think I cherish more about Charles than anything else was his friendship, because I knew the extent of that was he had my back.
I considered him a personal friend. He probably thought I was a little crazy because I adored him because he never pushed me, but he encouraged me. He wanted me to be the best that I could be, and he knew that I would be a great attorney.
When you look at what you need to find for someone to qualify for this distinguished alumni recognition, they say look for someone who had the highest accomplishments in whatever field of endeavor he chose. It's hard to argue with being on the Supreme Court of Kentucky if you were going to be a lawyer. And the other is to find someone that has the integrity and the character to perform professionally in order to reflect favorably upon Western Kentucky University. And without question, I think he did that as well.
The Commonwealth is a better place because of Charlie Reynolds and his legacy. He leaves a legacy for those of us left behind. And I hope as a mentee, I'm able to carry on the Charlie Reynolds legacy. I hope that I'm able to pass that on to my children and other attorneys who come to talk to me and to see me. I think anyone who goes to Western, who is a Western alumni, knows that there's a spirit at Western, and we all feel it. And I think Charlie embodied that spirit, and he took it with him everywhere he went.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mike Reynolds, the eldest child of the Justice, Charlie Reynolds, and our mom, Mary Patricia Reynolds. It is an honor and a privilege to speak on behalf of the Justice. There are several thank yous, though, that I need to acknowledge before we finish. Thanks to Franklin Bank and Trust, the title sponsor tonight. Next, the voters in the selection committee of the WKU Alumni Association. And I acknowledge David Cole Sr., former chairman of the WKU Board of Regents, for nominating my dad. Also, former Kentucky Supreme Court Chief Justice John Minton and current Supreme Court Justice Kelly Thompson for their letters of recommendation. And just as amazing is one from Mr. Joel Brown, the former superintendent of the Bowling Green City Schools. Two more before we get to the video, folks. Author Robert Dickey for the research and the written history behind the Justice's application. Also, Ray Buckberry again, Warren County Attorney Amy Milliken, and the Justice's longtime assistant Rosalind Davis for their fine comments on the video. My goal tonight, in my allotted time, Mr. President, is to go over things regarding my dad not reflected in his biography. The biography shows him as a war hero and an excellent jurist. I would like to go over my dad's childhood, educational history, legal career, but more importantly, his role as a husband, father, and grandfather. My late father was born in Bowling Green, October 10th, 1924, to Charles Reynolds and his mom, Hilda Reynolds. By the way, Hilda was a graduate of the Bowling Green Business University. He was an only child, and I want you to remember that when I finish up here tonight. When his parents divorced, he was raised by his working mother and by the streets and alleys of Bowling Green. When his formal education commenced, he was a student in the Bowling Green City School System at Center Street and College Street schools. And he's the only person I know that was ever allowed to skip a grade 2 times. He never saw the 2nd or the 4th grade. I don't think they do that anymore. He graduated from Bowling Green High School in 1940 at the age of 16 and was subsequently elected to the first ever class of Bowling Green High School Alumni Association Hall of Fame. He attended Marion Military Institute in Marion, Alabama in 1940 and 41. He wanted to be a flyboy. Well, he did, but the problem was a flight trainer crashed, landing him in the AAC hospital, lost his spleen. His World War II days in the Pacific Theater from 42 to 45 are well documented in the biograph as reported by Ray Buckberry in the previous release from Western. After the war, he came to Western Kentucky State College on the GI Bill. He graduated in 1948 with a major in economics. While at WKU, he lived in the president's home. The president at that time was Paul L. Garrett, and he had roommates such as Pete Garrett, the president's son, Ken Bale, John Hall. He joined the 13ers fraternity and became the president. At that time, he was courting my mom, and in January of 1947, they married. Patty Nuz Reynolds was a WKU student in the Amir sorority, a local one at that time. From that relationship, and over 4 decades, 11 children were born. 9 are here tonight. Besides myself, thank you, thank them. Kevin, the late Dan Reynolds, Father Pat Reynolds, Mary Ann Beard, Kenny Reynolds, Laura Taylor, Margaret Baker, Tom Reynolds, Brian Reynolds, and Trish Hastings. Later, 23 grandchildren and now numerous great-grandchildren. 9 of the 11 children attended WKU, many with not only degrees, but some with 2 degrees. For his career as an attorney, businessman, and banker, he was a partner at Bell, Orr, and Reynolds Law Firm from 1950 to 1970. From 71 to 75, served as president of Bowling Green Bank and Trust. That was up front. On the side, during those years from 50 to 62, he was a captain in the Army Reserve Unit here in Bowling Green. And right after that, he was chairman of the Bowling Green Warren County Planning Commission, as Amy alluded to. Now, on his home front, inside were such nice folks as Pauline Fant, Joanne Fant, Mildred Cole. They took care and helped my mom and all 11 of us forever. Outside, he loved animals. We had Bob, Snowball, Tish, Missy, Molly. The best one was Raheem. She was an Irish wolfhound. Scones and Walter. They were in the outside of our place. In 1976, as it was stated, the voters of Kentucky passed a comprehensive judicial reform bill, and Governor Carroll appointed my dad to the Court of Appeals, but he won 2 re-elections, serving 15 years on that august body, and in 1990 won his 3rd and final election to the Supreme Court. Later in life, he kept his total connection with WKU because my dad was a collector of fine art, and he worked with the Kentucky Museum and its representatives at the time, Riley Handy, Nancy Baird, Jonathan Jeffrey, and what he did was he loaned and then he donated his art to them. Now, to finish, on my dad's and Mom's 49th wedding anniversary, January 27th of 96, he suffered a fatal heart attack at home. Well, about 2 hours later, a flower delivery truck from Deemer's shows up and delivers his anniversary present to the home, a bouquet of flowers for my mom. How amazing. In an editorial, I'm going to finish with this. Basically, it read, maybe an epitaph. This part of the Commonwealth thought of Justice Reynolds as our man, one of us, a Warren County native and a graduate of WKU, former president of Bowling Green Bank and Trust Company, and then a member of the Kentucky Court of Appeals and a justice on the Supreme Court. This is what I want you to think about. He represented the best our section of the Commonwealth had to offer, and he brought honor to himself and to us. Esteemed throughout Kentucky and beyond, he was the Kentucky Judge of the Year in 1994, and just as easily could have been Kentucky Citizen of the Year most any year of his career on the bench. Now here's where I did tear up for a while. I don't anymore because I've read this about 1,000 times to put it in my soul. He was ours, but Justice Reynolds belonged to Kentucky. His impact on Kentucky law was refreshing in the simplicity of its wisdom. Stripped of legalism, he believed that all of us, especially judges, must do right. As he believed, so he did. He did right by those before his court, and he did right by this Commonwealth. He uplifted us, and he made us prouder to be Kentuckians. He helped us to more clearly understand what justice is, and then he gave us a very large measure of it. I want to say thank you, but before I do, from the Reynolds family, congrats to all of the other honorees tonight. Go Tops. Thank you.
Next, we honor Renee Shaw, an ethical, intellectual journalist with a natural sense of curiosity. Renee Shaw has made her mark as Director of Public Affairs and moderator at KET, as well as host of KET's weeknight public affairs program. Since 2001, she's been the producing force behind the network's nationally recognized legislative coverage. Under her leadership, KET expanded its portfolio of public affairs content to include a daily news and information program, Kentucky Supreme Court coverage, town hall-style forums, and multi-platform program initiatives around issues such as opioid addiction and youth mental health. In addition to her many career accomplishments, she's devoted to the advancement of Kentucky and continually looks for opportunities to give back to her community and the world. Please turn your attention to the video screen and meet 2023 Hall of Distinguished Alumni inductee, Renee Shaw.
Renee is someone I would consider as very curious about the world around her. To watch her progress from a student into the role she has today, I'm not surprised at all, because when you see someone that is that open, that curious about life, that enthusiastic, and that sincere, you know they're going to go places and they're going to touch people's lives. And Renee has done that in incredible ways.
Renee is the dominating force for good at KET in terms of being on air and being so connected to so many people in so many places. She is devoted to the organization and to the state's advancement, and you can see that in so many ways, time after time.
Hi, I'm Sherry Murphy. Renee and I were college roommates, and we're good friends now. Renee's spirit is really based in drive and determination. Not many people go after their dreams the way that Renee has. Once she set her mind to doing what she wanted to do, there was no stopping her. She was going to be the best at it in her field, and I think that she's definitely accomplished that.
No surprise that she should be in the Hall of Distinguished Alumni and receive the highest honor from the Emmys, among other things.
I mean, if you think about the awards that she's received throughout her lifetime, I mean, just this year she received the Natus Silver Circle Award. She's received the Natus Emmy Awards twice. I think it was June 15th, she was named Renee Shaw Day in Lexington, Kentucky, by the mayor. That's pretty significant.
Just the nature of her work and all of her accomplishments and who she's been able to interview over the years, the information that she's garnered from covering the Kentucky legislature over the years has overflown to me, and she has taught me so many things.
She's constantly supporting nonprofit efforts, fundraising efforts, very close to her family and friends. In every way, as a person of faith, she stands out.
I think she looks at life in a way that she is looking for a higher purpose, always, personally and professionally. And I believe that in her interactions with others, she lifts them up. And she's very, very committed to treating everyone she meets with dignity and respect. And I think Renee has made choices all throughout her life that represent that spirit as the master. It's like she really has embraced that.
We hope that you will tune in this weekend to Connections with Renee Shaw right here on KET.
Congratulations, Renee Shaw, on being inducted into the Hall of Distinguished Alumni for Western Kentucky University. You deserve this honor.
Please know what a role model for young women that you are, as well as all of us that are your friends and have watched your journey.
Renee, I am so happy for you and I'm so proud of you. You have made choices throughout your lifetime that has always been about others.
You're an amazing, energetic, ethical, intellectual journalist with a warm and wonderful personality. You're in my personal and family Hall of Fame. You inspire us, you make us better. Please don't stop.
Well, goodness. To President Caboni and to the Regents, to the Alumni Association Board Selection Committee, distinguished guests, it was warmed my heart to see the Chief Justice here, former Chief Justice. He will always be a Chief Justice to me, John Minton, Representative Patty Minter, and others who were here, distinguished officials. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's hard to, I wish I could have seen that video before getting up here. First, I just want to acknowledge the company in which I'm keeping tonight, the veterans who've served our country so valiantly, and to have this occasion timed with the weekend of recognizing our military servicemen and women is highly appropriate. So to the family of the late Admiral Charles Bloch and Justice Charles Reynolds, to his family, to Dr. Amir Zaheri, I am honored to be in your company tonight as a 2023 inductee into the Hall of Distinguished Alumni. I also want to thank, in her absence this evening, Dr. Sally Ray, who has been pushing me along the way ever since we met back in 1994, when I was going through the MA program in communications. I've had so many cheerleaders along the way, and when I see that video of Bob Babbage, who's been our Secretary of State and State Auditor, but also one of the dearest friends I know, and Al Smith, a glimpse of him, the late Al Smith, who from Russellville, Kentucky, took me under his wing as the producer of his longest running public affairs program, Comment on Kentucky. It does my soul good. To Dr. Sandra Ardrey, government professor, took one class with her, and I knew where my trajectory would be. Journalism and public policy. And she cemented that for me and pushed me. And to Dan Maudlin, former news director of what was then called WKYU-FM, to Jerry Barnaby, who was my boss at WKYU-FM, to Dana Devine, the program director, to Masako Barnaby. These are not just colleagues who made my life rich while I was at Western. They are still my lifelong friends, and they will always be. No finer people. And my roommates, Lynette and Susan, and a good friend, Medina Tipton, in the back, and my Yaya and her husband, Artie and Steph Green. My parents couldn't be here tonight as illness and age take its toll. But to God be the glory for him making them for me and me for them. As an only child of hardworking parents and a first-generation college student, they poured everything they had into me. They broke their backs, made their fingers bleed, so that I had a brighter path for a brighter future. No one I am more indebted to on this earth than Emma Jean and Farrell Shaw. To my friends at the table, I didn't just have an academic career at Western. Western gave me so much. I always say that I was born in Tennessee, but I grew up in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I found out who I was, what I was purposed to do, my God-given mission and my talent and my gift. And these people helped nurture that all along the way. From hanging out at KYU all day together, all day, working together, and then going home at night and watching movies and playing badminton and me requesting do-overs when I didn't serve it the way I wanted to, Jerry. Western gave me an experience that I would not trade for anything in this world. I am a proud alumni, and to have this honor tonight is one of the greatest honors of my life. Industry awards I have for almost lifetime service, which seems hard to even say. But tonight is so incredibly meaningful to me. And I thank you for seeing fit to induct me into this illustrious society. And it is my goal that the Spirit makes this master and makes the university proud. God bless you all, and thank you all for this honor.
And now we honor Dr. Amir Zaheri. Our final honoree this evening is a recognized composer, conductor, performer, and educator. In addition to serving as Associate Director of the University of Alabama School of Music, Dr. Zaheri is the school's Composition and Theory Program Chair, an Associate Professor of Music Composition, and is known for his dedication to addressing the needs of the whole student by implementing programs focused on a holistic strategy for music students on various dimensions of life wellness for musicians. With an interest in diverse media, he's conducted his compositions in Carnegie Hall and has performed throughout the United States and Europe, creating a unique experience that merges cinematography and choreography. He also is known for his humility, kindness, and commitment to students, and for spreading his love of music and people wherever he goes. If you will, please turn your attention to the video screen and meet 2023 Hall of Distinguished Alumni inductee, Dr. Amir Zaheri.
Hi, I'm Mary Kay Winter, and I met Amir when I started teaching general music and choir when he was in middle school at Rowan County Middle School. I didn't realize the range of what he was even capable of, but after looking at his work for the past 10, 15 years, he's branched out into so many different areas that aren't even in music, as he mentors students, the well-being of students, the health and safety of students. All those things are just built into him.
I first met Amir when he was a freshman and I was a junior at Western. He was really quiet at first, but it did not take long for us to become really great friends. He's the most genuine, talented, most humble human beings I have ever met. He never meets a stranger. He has a love of music. He shares his passion with music with every single person that he encounters.
Amir as a human being is kind and thoughtful and considerate, and Amir is able to allow people the freedom to be who they want to be as artists, which is really important.
As a musician, he's a great organist. That was one of the things he worked on when he was here.
Even after our tenure, when we were finished at Western, we continued to perform and go even overseas and in Carnegie Hall and would perform together.
And his depth and range of the ways he has reached people through music and the arts in general is pretty phenomenal.
He never brags about himself, and whenever I try to talk to him about what's new, what's going on, what awards have you won, he always turns it back around to the other person because he does not like to brag. To be honest with you, I am not even sure of every single award he has won because he never wants to talk about it.
I mean, I consider Amir far more than a teacher. I consider Amir a mentor and a friend and an advisor and an uncle, kind of, in a way.
He's deserving of a high honor because he's an ambassador wherever he goes for truth, kindness, and spreading the joy of music, his love of music, and his love of people.
I think that he has just taken his love of music and how he was taught here at Western. There are no boundaries. You can go places, you can dream big. And I think that he has taken that to heart, and he just continues to grow from what he was taught at Western Kentucky University.
I think because the sheer amount of lives that Amir's touched and what Amir's done for education and for higher education, when you look across the country, there are students of Amir's at colleges, big and small, and just to think that that network started here and what that means for this university to have their hands through Amir in all these other institutions across the country, I think is far more than deserving of this and of other things as well. So when you think about masters in any field, whether that's music, whether it's art, whether it's construction, architecture, or academia, or any field, people who are masters of that, they don't become masters overnight. It takes spirit to get to that point, right? It takes perseverance, it takes trial and error, it takes overcoming adversity, it takes failing and coming back and trying again. And Amir definitely has that spirit to continue to try to do this impossible thing of becoming a master at something.
You are so deserving for so many reasons. Keep working, keep loving, keep doing what you do. I love you.
Amir, I am so very, very proud of your award. And of course, I had to hear it from someone else. You would never even tell me about your award. You are the most deserving and the kindest person. And it has been an honor. It is such an honor being your friend. And I'm so very proud of you, and I love you.
Hey Amir, congratulations on this huge achievement. I'm really proud of you, and thank you for everything you've done for me.
I feel like we need to take a 10-minute break so that I can recover from the video. Wow. President Caboni, esteemed faculty, cherished guests, and my fellow Hilltoppers, this evening, a gentle apprehension is overtaking me that at any moment, someone is going to come up on the stage, lean in and whisper, "Amir, we are very sorry, there has been a terrible mistake." Considering the vast lineage of Western's alumni, replete with immense talent, stunning accomplishments, and remarkable accolades, I have wondered if my name materialized through some lucky but possibly accidental selection process. In receiving this award, I stand before you as one embodiment of an underdog. The quintessential child of Eastern Kentucky, born literally the son of a coal miner's daughter. My journey from a very humble upbringing, surrounded by the truly hard-scrabble life of Appalachia, to this moment of recognition, is a story marked by dreams and the unwavering support of so many friends, family members, and selfless music educators. Many of those educators, including a high school music teacher, a graduate of Western, saw potential where I suspect others likely saw improbability. Despite the barriers of truly minimal resources and seemingly insurmountable challenges related to making higher education a reality, their belief in me helped to bridge the gap between aspiration and achievement. This honor, should it come with even a hint of error, I will gladly accept with profound humility, not just for myself, but for those continually marginalized and seldom expected to rise to any degree of eminence. And as a testament to the spirit of Western, a spirit that champions the value of inner qualities over external circumstances. It reflects the true essence of our motto, "The Spirit makes the master," a creed that I believe acknowledges mastery and excellence as the harvest of inner drive, passion, resilience, and integrity. It is a tribute to the power within us to transcend expectations and emerge as masters in our own right, regardless of the hand we are dealt. And so, President Caboni, if I am in fact receiving this award by mistake, I regret to inform you that I am keeping it. But I will promise you this, it will stand as a noble emblem of Western's inclusive essence, and I will present it always as an encouragement to every other perennial underdog who hopes to defy the odds that one day they too may be celebrated in such a way as this. I suspect many of us know the adages, we never know what we have until it's too late, and we don't realize what we have until it's gone. These may be true sometimes, not in this case. I have long recognized and shared the value of my experiences here, and I assure you they are not lost to time. And regarding our potential inability to realize what we have before it is gone, no. I remain up to date on Western's advancement. It fills me with immense pride. And I am confident that WKU is going nowhere except forward and upward. And I love that. Western continues to ascend, as does the music program, my home, my heart, flourishing under the stewardship of distinguished faculty, including two of my guests this evening, the music department's co-chairs, Drs. Liza Kelly and Zach Lopes. They, like my faculty mentors from more than 25 years ago, are anything but complacent in their pursuit of excellence, and I am grateful for them. My profound gratitude is extended to the philanthropy and alumni engagement staff whose dedication and hospitality were instrumental in orchestrating my participation in this weekend's festivities. I am incredibly grateful to President Caboni for his warm welcome and the honor of joining such a distinguished company. To my faculty mentors, peers, and my dearest friends, some of whom share in tonight's celebration, your presence is a gift for which I am eternally thankful. To my spouse, whose tireless support and belief in me exceed anything I could earn. And to everyone dedicated to promoting this community. Ms. Shaw, I don't know how you did this. I do know how you did it. You're a pro. I am proof. Sometimes the last is the least. How could you let me follow her? Okay, that's okay. To my spouse, whose tireless support and belief in me exceed anything I could earn, and to everyone dedicated to promoting this community of excellence that shapes our identity. My heartfelt thanks. This spirit, the bedrock of our motto, the spirit makes the master, is the unifying force. It binds us and it represents us. I am profoundly moved and delighted to commemorate this occasion with all of you. And above all, I am honored to be a Hilltopper. It is a badge I will wear with utmost pride for all of my days. Thank you.
Wow. So that's all I can say. And off script a little bit, I work with each of our honorees and I make sure they have tissue because I see their videos beforehand and I know what I'll do. And I failed to keep tissues for myself this evening. So thank you to each and every one of our inductees and honorees. Thank you for being here with us this evening. I'm Anthony McAdoo. I serve as Executive Director of the WKU Alumni Association, and on behalf of over 125,000 alumni around the world, I want to congratulate each and every one of our esteemed alumni and benefactors that we have recognized here tonight, including the 4 newest members of our Hall of Distinguished Alumni. Tonight's ceremony is the result of months of preparations with many partners. Thank you again to our presenting sponsor, Franklin Bank and Trust, for making tonight possible. Your investment in this Hilltopper Excellence Awards has helped us create a celebration worthy of the 9 esteemed alumni benefactors we have honored and each and every one of our guests with us this evening. Thank you. We would also like to thank our partners who helped create this celebration of Hilltopper excellence tonight, and I'll share all involved, and we'll save our applause to the end. First, our Alumni Association Board of Directors for their investment in our recognition programs and in service in identifying and selecting tonight's recipients. My colleagues from the Division of Philanthropy and Alumni Engagement who have assisted with the planning, production, and execution of tonight's celebration. VidMonster for their exceptional work on the videos that you saw tonight. Musicians Pro Productions for their audio, visual, and lighting services during tonight's celebration. WKU Conference Services and the Nicely Conference Center for their hospitality here on their venue. Aramark for their catering and fine dining and beverage service this evening. The students of the WKU Dr. James N. Martin Student Chapter of the American Institute of Floral Designers, under the supervision of Mr. Roger Dennis, Clinical Assistant Professor in Horticulture, who provided the beautiful floral arrangements in the room this evening. Our campus and community table sponsors for being here with us this evening and inviting your guests, and each and every one of you. Thank you for choosing to be here with us this evening, and I hope that you leave being inspired by the excellence demonstrated by our fellow Hilltoppers. Please give a hand to all of our partners for their role in tonight's event. Tonight, we recognize excellence, the excellence that comes from being a Hilltopper and the excellence that a Hilltopper shares with those around them through their career and their passions. We invite you to help us identify fellow Hilltoppers who embody this excellence through their professional achievements, leadership, and service. Your recommendations for any of our honors will help us ensure we have the most comprehensive pool of individuals to be considered for our honors and other recognition opportunities through the association. On the back of your program is information about how you can easily submit your recommendations by December 1st for consideration and next year's honorees. Our staff and volunteers will be able to advise you on additional steps or information necessary to provide the most compelling stories for consideration of any of our applicable honors. I hope to see you at all of our homecoming festivities throughout the weekend. Tomorrow, we begin bright and early at 10 a.m. with the groundbreaking for the Hilltopper Fieldhouse. Then at 11 a.m., WKU's Veterans Day ceremony will occur in DSU night class. Then we'll host our chili, cheese, and community celebration benefiting junior achievement of South Central Kentucky and Montana Grill at noon. And then we invite everyone to join us downtown at Fountain Square Park from 4 to 6 to have a safe, well-lit space to watch the homecoming parade as it rolls through at 5:30. And then stick around to watch the official homecoming pep rally, Big Red's Roar, at 6:30 p.m. in front of the Capitol Theater. Full calendar of events and details can be found on our website at alumni.wku.edu/homecoming. You're welcome to stick around this evening and congratulate our honorees. Enjoy another Big Red Old Fashioned as we continue our reception after tonight's dinner program. Thank you for your unwavering spirit and support of WKU, and as always, go Tops. Thank you.